The Order 1886 completely freaking sucks on the PS4. Oh my lord! The Order 1886 is an absolute failure flop of a game. The PS4, oh, the highly hyped exclusive, right? The highly hyped exclusive on the PS4. This game is a pile of absolute monkey trash. This game sucks so freaking bad. Ready at Dawn and SCE Santa Monica Studios, the developers who are responsible for this trash, the Order 1886, should be embarrassed. Should be embarrassed. I'm taking a look at the freaking scores. The freaking scores on Metacritic. It is the lowest scores I've seen for a PS4 exclusive, or any exclusive on the 8th generation. Since the 2013. I can't even... Since 2013, since it began. Since the 8th generation started. Heck, since the Wii U dropped in 2012. Not even the Wii U has games this bad. The Xbox One certainly doesn't have games this bad. Metascore right now, currently as I read this, is 65. It is 65 based on 51 critics on the aggregate Metacritic scores. And, I mean, to be fair, there are some reviews that are, you know, a little bit higher. Gaming Trend gave it a 95. Canadian Online Gamers gave it an 86. Game Over Online gave it an 85. Game Trailers gave it an 82. So, there are, you know, in the 80s, but for the most part, for the important reviews and the actual important feedback, the ones that actually matter, Digital Trends gave it a 20. A 20 out of 100. A 20 out of 100. The Order 1886 is a terrible game. Not because it's broken or made without skill, certainly not because it's an average-length story-driven shooter with minimal replay value. It's just a bad game, forgettable in every conceivable way, and safely ignored by all but the most ardent trophy hunters. This game is for trophy losers. Because again, we're going back to the PS4 with this crappy trophy system. For the love of anything that is good, anything that is holy, stay away from these trophy-ridden games. And to play a video game just for trophies makes you an absolute freaking loser. You're not a gamer. You're not even... You shouldn't even call yourself a gamer. You're a pathetic, lifeless, empty nooblet. You have nothing going for your life, I'm sure. I mean, trophy hunters, my goodness. Who plays a game just for trophies? Bunch of morons. Get a life. Anyway. But yeah, you know, this game, Digital Trends gave it a 20. And according to them, you know, it's basically a average length, minimal replay value game. It's a bad game. It's very forgettable. Because guess what? Let's take a look at the storyline of the Order 1886. The plot line. It's set in this alternate history, okay? So we're going to this alternate history crap. We're talking about Assassin's Creed, you know, games like that. You know, crap with an alternate history. Stuff that never really happened, okay? So it's in London, okay? You got an old order of knights keeping all of the world safe from half-breed monsters who are a combination of animal and man. Basically your cheap rip-off of movies, I should say, like Underworld, and you know, these half vampire, half whatever, half creatures, okay? In the game's history, around the 7th or 8th centuries, a small number of humans took on bestial traits. The majority of humans feared these half-breeds, and the war broke out. Despite the humans outnumbering the half-breeds, their animal strength gave them the upper hand in the centuries of conflict. Centuries later, the humanity finds new hope in King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. King Arthur and his like-minded knights take the fight to the half-breeds, But Arthur soon realizes it's a losing battle. It's a losing battle. So he's like, you know, King Arthur with his stupid cliche Knights of the Round, you know, the typical table crap. And he's like, yeah, we're losing this. So, a mysterious turn of fate, the knights discover black water, a mystical liquid that significantly extends their life and gives them remarkable healing abilities. Despite this new advantage, the half-breeds continue to win battle after battle until the Industrial Revolution turns the tide. Engineers are far ahead of their time, inventing technologies such as thermal imaging, zeppelins, and wireless communications. Oh, for the love of freaking Christmas trees. You got wireless, zeppelins, and thermal imaging in what, the 8th century or something like that, in the freaking mid-century. I mean, this is your typical, not even cyberpunk. This is what, like, medieval punk, you know? Like, really, like, honestly, for the love of sensical gaming and storytelling, this is just stupid. You know, this is Hansel and Gretel all over again. Remember that movie from, like, I think it was 2 years ago? That movie that came out, Hansel and Gretel, they were basically fighting, like, vampires or witches. It wasn't vampire, it was witches, and they were killing witches, and they had all these fancy gadgets, and it was all like futuristic and crap, very futuristic weapons and stuff, and they were doing like Matrix style moves, and it was so technologically impressive, and even their clothing was kind of medieval punk or something like that, you know. They were all, oh, it's so cliche. It's been done to smithereens. It's been done and pounded into the ground a million times. This idea, these crappy ideas like, you know, the Order 1880. I mean, it's just not original, you know? It's so hack to do this. Back to the Future type crap, you know. Well, what's that movie? The Wild West? You know, the steampunk thing. Wild West. Ugh. New weapons belch electricity, ignite clouds of molten metal on top of enemies, and fulfill dual functions as fragmentation, grenades, and proximity mines. Yeah, they got grenades and proximity mines. Modern technology being used in the freaking 1886. The Order 1886. I mean, I don't know. It's completely unrealistic, obviously, and the main problem with this game is that the plotline sucks. It's uninteresting. You got the scores is very abysmal. I've never seen a PS4 game destroyed this badly. How is the you know, I was reading that article the other day about how the PS4 might get 80 million units. It's going to be the highest selling system of this the 8th generation, and by 2019 it's going to sell up to 80 million units supposedly, according to a prediction analytics study type of thing. And the PS4 is going to be the highest selling system with garbage like Order 1886, with crap like 1886. This is the best this stupid system has to offer. This overhyped, overrated system. The PS4 is abysmal. It is a disappointment. We're gonna read a few more scores from Metascore, and that's about it. I've had enough to stomach regarding the stupid game. Game Revolution gave it a 40. They gave it a 40. Perhaps someday Ready at Dawn could develop a sequel that's gorgeous and fun. It lives up to the promises of the Order 1886. Fingers crossed. But today is not that day. Ready at Dawn is a bunch of freaking pathetic losers that develop really short games. They make short games like the God of War games on the PSP. You know, games like Daxter on the PSP. They make games that are meant for the handhelds. It's meant for the smaller systems, not overtly long games on the frickin' main consoles. Ready at Dawn sucks monkey droppings. They're terrible. EGM gave it a 45. They gave it a 45. The issues, large and small, just pile up, and the order ends up feeling like a game where plenty of manpower went into making sure it looked good, but no one bothered to check if it might actually be any fun, outside of its admittedly superlative visuals. So the graphics are quite impressive. The graphics. Oh, the graphics of the PS4. How sexy. Guess what? The frickin' PS3 had amazing graphics too, okay? Doesn't mean that the games are any good. Crysis had great graphics. Crysis was a pile of crap generic shooter. Okay, it's nothing special, but the graphics are good, so guess what? Who cares? The graphics doesn't make a game. EGM continues, the order doesn't do a single thing well. Not one gameplay element stands out as superb, merely mediocre or substandard. GameSpot gave it a 50 out of 100. It is at best perfectly playable and lovely to look at and listen to, but it's also the face of mediocrity and missed opportunities. A bad game can make a case for itself. A boring one is harder to forgive. Well, GameSpot, guess what? This game sucks, so it's a pretty bad game. Hardcore Gamer gave it a 50. This is a showcase for the graphical power of the PS4 and nothing more. Rudimentary gameplay, a poorly executed story, and an unwelcoming visual palette make it come off as a cold, uninspired, and most importantly, not that fun. Games Radar Plus gave it a 50. They are praising the graphics, but again, it's a dated and instantly forgettable experience. Gamer.no gave it a 50. Okay, Polygon gave it a 55. Game Planet gave it a frickin' 55. Oh my! Everything else, Digital Spy gave it a 60. Push Square gave it a 60. US Gamer gave it a 60. Video Gamer gave it a 60. 3D Juegos gave it a 60. We Got This Covered gave it a 60. Destructoid gave it a 60. Let's see what they had to say. The length doesn't really bother me in principle. Keep in mind that there's very little in the way of replay value, and there's no multiplayer, not even co-op to speak of. Yeah, it takes roughly 7 hours to complete it. That's pretty pathetic. So it is a relatively short game. It's, it might not be as short as 5 hours, as a lot of people have mentioned in the past, but 5 to 7 hours is still very, very short. It's, it's nothing special. It's very, very underwhelmingly, again, the replay value is not there. It doesn't have replay value. It doesn't have a replayable nature to it. My gosh. And people make fun of COD. And people bash COD. A game that's been popular and sold millions upon millions of copies and made billions of dollars in the past 10 years. Call of Duty gets criticized. But yet everybody plays Call of Duty because COD has replay value. And you hypocrite morons, you hypocrite COD-hating morons love Call of Duty. You jumped on the bandwagon? You might not like it anymore, I don't care. But guess what? COD destroys the Order 1886. This game completely stinks. And that's it for this episode of the TruGheymer Reviews. True gamers play true video games, not this pathetic 1886 nonsense. So guess what? If you want a real shooter type of experience, get freaking COD, get Advanced Warfare like a real gamer does, and not this pathetic, trifling mess that is crapped out by Ready at Dawn. Oh, the PS4 sucks. The TruGheymer Reviews is brought to you by The Review Space. For more videos, check out youtube.com/TheReviewSpace. Thanks for watching. Until next time.